Hello folks, and welcome to Erannorth Reborn. It's time for a new run, and today we will be unlocking the Demon and the Necromancer and playing as one. So let's unlock. You can see the details here. You can click this icon resembling a deck to see your deck cards and then other cards that you will be getting. And I will unlock the race, I will unlock the class, and so we will be playing as a Demon Necromancer. So, as a demon we have affinities in slashing, dark and astral, and penalty in earth and light. Resistance is minus earth, minus light, and dark. And Necromancer has slashing, platonic, and dark. And you will notice that this pattern holds for most races and for most classes. So usually classes get a +3, +1 in 3 different stats, while races get some more significant bonuses, but also some additional penalties. For example, this is a lycanthrope, this is the Nephilim, and so on. That's why when we played as a class, we didn't had much bonus, but we didn't had much penalty either. Okay, so Demon Necromancer. Lots of dark damage, mostly dark damage, very little slashing, very little poison. So this is one of the combinations that would be overspecialized. So if you meet an enemy that is resistant to dark, you are basically doomed. Maybe a radical combination like Nephilim Necromancer would be more challenging, but more rewarding to play and more flexible. Okay, so let's play with our Demon Necromancer. 15 intellect. We have 0 piercing, +2 slashing, +1 bludgeoning. We are not much into physical damage, but we have a dark, an astral, and a poison at a decent level. Charisma is the major astral modifier. Willpower will increase light and dark. So I will try to get my willpower at 16, so we can get this +5 in dark, which is pretty good. And with astral and then with slashing fire, we also have water and air. We don't have earth and light. This should be good. Let's play with a demon looking character, or maybe we can get this one that looks like a necromancer. Perks. Intellectual, corrupt. Corrupt is nice because we don't particularly care about light in this case, so we can get it and give us a nice dark +6. Equipment, we have our staff. It has Drain Soul, and Drain Soul means that if the enemy dies from this hit, we restore 1 hit point and gain Empower 2. And when in advance, we gain 3 hit points and Empower 2. So Empower is fixed. It's always 2. But the number you see is the hit points you will be getting. Let's start with an empty deck. We can have 6 copies of the skeletal minion. It's too much if you ask me. Strife. If the enemy has rage, then we get Amplified Dark +2. Then we deal 5 to 10 dark damage to 3 random enemies. And we can have 2 of these. Affliction. If the enemy has Doom, then we draw 1. They get weakened and we deal poison damage and it costs 0. So it's pretty nice. You also need something to inflict Doom. Can get 2 of these. 3 Chaos Blades. 3 Skeletal Minions. Feral Servant, 1 of these. If the enemy has vulnerable, they gain +2 vulnerable. And we also hit for 4 damage, 4 dark damage, and they get weakened halfway that, so weaken 2. Okay. We'll be having probably more allies than space to play. So I think this is good. This is the final deck and start. So our action points per turn is 8 and we have 14 action points. That's pretty good. Let's start with Chaos Blade. Get the Chaotic 4. We'll deal 5 to 10 dark chaotic damage. So a random enemy will take 5 to 10. And that goes for all my dark cards. Why? Because we have a +6 dark. So 4 and 6 equals 10. That's the maximum damage. Rounded down to the half point. Right click will deal 3 to 6 slashing chaotic damage. So right click. We can kill this one. We get Empower 2. This is undead, so Drain won't have any effect. Drain will basically drain 5 hit points from the enemy and you will restore 5 hit points. So let's play like so. Stars. Empower dead. Target undead ally. Ally loses 4 hit points and they get power +4 and lifespan +1. Very nice. Temptation, synergy damage and contract 1. Now Necromancers has Doom, which means that if the enemy dies under the Doom effect, they are resurrected like a zombie, as per the reanimate card. Demons have contract, which is similar. If they die, they are returning under your control as an infernal servant. So let's add this to our deck to see how contract Works will already have Doom, so we will see that too. Infernal Servant, that's the ally that Contract will produce. And he can create maledictions, but we can also use him to attack. Speak the pouch, read the journal, funnel. Imbue dark means that half of all our damage becomes dark. And that goes for our dark damage, so half will become dark and the other half will become dark. And why on earth would one want to split dark damage into two dark halves? Well, because now with one amplified dark, we will be boosting each half, basically, dealing more damage than we normally would. It's one theory, at least. Let's try it out. Deck, continue. We can do the math when we get the card. Strife. Let's use Strife. We will deal 5 to 10 dark damage to 3 random enemies. Maybe we can kill one first and get them power. Now we deal 6 to 12 dark damage to 3 enemies. Or we can bring Chaos Blade down. So now we deal 8 to 16 dark damage to 3 random enemies. Why not? Sounds good. The chest, let's draw this. Blunt Hand Axe. Split Bludgeoning, stun 1. Amplify Slashing, amplify Bludgeoning. So Slashing gets penalty, Bludgeoning gets bonus. And it's more of a Bludgeoning weapon than it's a Slashing. This is Split Piercing and this is plain Slashing. Anyway, I don't want any of this, I will take this to sell it. Let's use this. Infernal Strength and Funnel. Let's get one more funnel. This Amplified Dark is pretty nice and Drain Soul is also quite powerful. Combat spell. I will hunt, will draw this. 5 free XP. Okay, so we will try to kill one first. Let's, for example, use this. He's immune to vulnerable. But we got the empower we wanted. This won't be able to adjust anything, but will weaken him. Doom. Okay, so let's play Doom on him. And now, if the enemy has Doom, we draw one. We did. If the enemy dies under the Doom effect, they are reanimated as a zombie. energy damage. Let's do another one. No question of loyalty. Sorry. And we find an old dusty grimoire. It would be nice to have some sort of ranged cards, and Death Beam does that at the cost of hit points. So, pretty powerful. So we come across an old altar covered in blood and bones. It has been recently used for a necromantic or demonic ritual. And we have the choice. What a splendid discovery, because we are necromancers and can get some very nice cards. Blade of Darkness for 2-8 slashing, drain 2 and destroy non-wicked. Very nice, but it's a bit expensive, but very nice. If the enemy has 3 weak encounters, then we craft Deteriorate. What does it do? Deteriorate. Deteriorate will adjust bleeding by +6 and will also apply a healing counter. Applying healing counters on the enemy won't heal them, it will trick them thinking they did and prevent them from using their healing tactic. So that's pretty interesting combination. We can also get the Crowbeak Talisman and Skull Mask. Skull Mask is the safe choice. Crowbeak Talisman is good if you are playing with the Doom archetype. This can be quite devastating, but I think I will play with the Wand of Decay to see how it works and add it to my stash, because it's a trinket and I can fetch it through here. So we have Ivan the Quick, and let's empower ourselves first. So now we have empower 2. Our potential is 3, and we can actually freeze him. We can actually apply vulnerability to him. So let's do that. Frozen broke from our damage. Question loyalty. Losing power. Let's use Infernal Strength. And now, as you can see, damage and chaotic damage are 2 different sources, and we will deal 5 to 11 dark damage to the target, and then we will deal 5 to 11 dark damage to 3 random enemies, which happens to be the same, so you want to prepare to be cooked. Okay, so he got all the strife damage, he got pretty much. Recycle. Target undead ally, sacrifice ally, -3, and draw 1. Now what sacrifice does is, first of all, kills the ally, and then we gain -3 hit points plus their remaining health. So if I was to use it on the skeleton, I would be getting 6 hit points, and also replace him with this 2 power 6 to lifespan skeleton. So basically it's recycle. You can use it on useless, near to expire allies and get some extra out of them. Let's add two recycles and see how it plays. Close. We got a level, perks, and we can get the apprentice summoner. That's one choice. The other choice is to wait for level 3 and with our 100 perk points get leadership, which will have the same effect but also give us the free villain tendency. No, I think I will get the apprentice summoner now. Let's boost our charisma. We got an increase in astral as well. We now have 9 action points per turn. Ring of Warding is a nice investment. A bit expensive though, but it's worth it. And we can spare the action points. Okay, so next stage. Doom. If the enemy is doomed, then draw 1. We can attempt to drain soul. Empower at 2 doesn't drop lower, and we get a stronger zombie out of it. And this one will die, so I have 4 now, even better. Curse 4 to 8 dark, drain soul 1 and craft doom. So quite nice. Let's add this to our deck. We'll be adjusting our deck maybe on stage 3. I don't think we'll be having any problem. Okay, so Impure Dark. Lose 2 hit points, get synergy, drain soul and amplify dark. So let's use this card as a case study. And we deal 4 to 8 dark damage. Now we deal 6 to 12 dark damage. But what will happen because of the Impure is that we deal 3 to 6 dark damage and 3 to 6 dark damage. But each of these halves will have this 4 added to it. So let's find an enemy that takes more damage from dark. So without the imbue, we would be dealing 8 to 14. 8 to 14. Let's see how much we deal. 15. We dealt 15. So as you can see, it's split. And each half consumed 25% of our dark damage. but one half got a plus 7 and the other got a plus 6. So we dealt basically more damage, and I think we could have gotten a better roll. We just rolled a 7. So that was a roll of 7 and we did 13 damage. Could have been better. Let's try that again with the apprentice stuff. So it's 7 to 13 and we did 12. Again we rolled a 7. Okay. Anyway, when the enemy is vulnerable, I think splitting damage is worth it. But if they are resistant, of course it's not. If you can get a nice amplify, it's probably worth it. Okay, let's deal with the Inquisitors. I don't like them. I'm a Necromancer. And there we get the Novice Warlock.
More subjects for my experiments.
It fits more my blitz tactics. So they both resist dark. Potential 2. Drain Soul. We can use this to drain some extra hit points from here. And now we will trigger this chaotic damage by the failed experiment. So, failed experiment will be created. I will deal 4 to 8 fire chaotic damage from the creation spell, and it will come into play. Like so. Attack, and trigger the slashing. Novice Warlock in deck. Don't get me wrong, Acrobat Thief is a very nice card, and the Monk is very nice if you don't have healing. So Contract. If this enemy dies while Contract is active, they will come back as an Infernal Servant. This one. And we get this particular allies, the zombie and the Infernal Servant, because we don't have something better. But if we did, so we are over our limit, one of them will die next time our allies are possessed. You can't control more than 4 allies. Was good while it lasted. Let's bring one more. And mark this one as a replacement. We can use the treasure map, and I can add this to my Harm minion uses 1, farthings 15, they get power 6 and max health 4. So let's add this to my stats. It now has 3 cards. And this one. Let's free the prisoners. We can get another warlock for our deck. Let's use this to attack.
More subjects for my experiments.
Contract. Drain soul. And so far so good. We can we don't have the option of the warlock. It's okay, we'll get the grave digger even better. On draw we craft one exhume. Exhume has desecrate 3, which will create an aura of darkness that will harm all living and heal all the wicked. It will harm all the non-wicked and heal all the wicked. And we are wicked because we are demon and because we are necromancer. Our undead allies are also wicked. So all is good for us. Unless we fight against undead, in which case not so good. Okay, let's add Empower Dead to our deck. So we will be adjusting our deck at stage 3. For now there is no rush to do that. Okay, I will try to drain some this one. And now strive. Doom. This will also amplify dark. Drain soul. Okay, so this is an example where we can switch this ally with recycle, either because they have one lifespan and they will be going away, or because they exhausted their usefulness. In any case, we restored 5. It had 8 hit points, minus 3, 5. So it's a very nice way to also heal, and these guys have defensive stance, so defend 3, retribution 3. Let's play funnel, see how much damage we can deal. 13 plus 7 dark plus 6 dark. And again we roll 7. What's with the 7? Is it our lucky number? And let's see what we got. Hide an intellect. Getting intellect to 19 will give us an additional hand size. But this is as good as any time to wait for leadership. Start the grimoire. Let's play the Chaos Blade. Playing the Skeleton will deal 5 to 11 chaotic, but we can first we can play our apprentice stuff. Fortunately, the chaotic went on him as well. Kill with a knapsack. Best death ever. And play another Chaos Blade. Now if I use this chaotic synergy on my ability, I will just get an additional +4 because this ally already has the chaotic and my slashing modifier is already here. But if I use it on this card, then I will also benefit from my high dark bonus and deal some additional damage. Open the chest. Summons Mask. Well, we used this with our animist and had mixed results. Not always good, not always bad. Let's equip it, we can use it whenever we want. And perhaps it's time to start investing in some physical damage, and we have a -3 upkeep. Let's use Death Beam. No, I will first use Fun, then use Death Beam. So she got 21 damage because each of the halves dealt more damage and benefited from our high amplified dark. You got 12, 6 and 6. And we have Empower. Now I don't particularly care for any of these guys. I'm a Necromancer. Okay, so he has healing. Let's draw this. I will arm this minion. And we are at stage 3, so it's a good time as any to. We can also empty our deck at this point. So let's empty our deck. And we'll have our Gravedigger and our Warlock. And 2 of the Chaos Blades and maybe 2 and 2. Strife, 3 of them. 3 of the funnels. 3 chill tats. Make them 2. Curse, Death Beam, Doom. So we can play with Empowered Dead. So this is our deck. Let's check it out. Looks good. So let's bring the Gravedigger. Unfortunately, these are all wicked, so Desecrate won't help much. Let's play 2. Drain Soul. And summon ally, synergy power, craft, reanimate. So I can do this. And now I can keep up the offensive with the tougher zombie. And Drain Soul. So we don't have to add stuff to our deck now that we went through modifying it. Let's add them to our stars and maybe reevaluate again at the next stage, or if when is necessary. So we have again a mixed group. There are 2 wicked enemies. I will attack with my zombie and some reanimate, attack again. Let's use now I can kill the skeleton if I want. I can always recycle. Also I'm going to draw. And the secret will kill, probably. Let's see how much damage will do. Cursed Cloak. We need to target an enemy. We lose 1 hit point, resist dark -1 and get envy and draw 2. Envy is the most powerful damage effect in the game because target suffers, in this case 4, plus 1 for every hit point we are missing. So the more hit points we are missing, the more envy damage we get to deal. And this is useful because it goes to our stats and we can use it with the backpack button. We can also stash this. So let's kill the zombie and we can get affliction. Okay, Katana, we played with this card before. Very nice card. Not very fitting for our current character. Let's stash the bomb. And also stash this. We don't have alchemy, but who knows, maybe we get at some point in our future. We can also sell it because it's a commodity. Let's sell some equipment that we won't use. We can buy some possessed minions or let's check our accessories. Fossil talisman is pretty good. We couldn't use that before because it was quite expensive for us. Now not so much, but ever burning candle is quite nice. Anything that gives you synergy meditate, it's quite nice, but we can't afford it. Now we'll can't afford the time. Okay, what are we looking at then? It's not like we can afford anything. Let's buy this bomb and be out of here. Maybe this too. Forbidden research. Okay, now lift down. Let's add this to our hand. Buy some rations.
More subjects for my experiments.
Novice Necromancer. Will have his soul drained. Empowered dead. And let's see what the Summon Mask will bring. That's nice because we can use their defensive stance and he will attack at least. He will flank and she will use her bleeding strike maybe, or because she's below half, use a shield or a spiked armor. Probably shield. Okay, let's still kill the skeleton. So flank, attack, and shield. Let's empower. Remember that they also lose hit points, so he didn't survive the procedure. Let's continue. Okay, so let's start with Drain Soul. Let's drive and attack. Bolt of Darkness. Control undead 6. It means that if the undead in question has power maximum damage less than 6 or equal, then we'll get to control them. But they also get some nice damage along the process. Let's add it to our deck, see if we can use it or not. So this is a case where we can recycle. First we can also attack here. Now recycle, we will lose 1 hit point, but we'll get to draw a card and also get this guy here. Deal the random damage, see where it lands, and Drain Soul. The hand was decay. So unfortunately she will turn into her hybrid form, boosting her power quite a lot, but nothing to worry about. Deckhand Morris. He is quite resistant to dark, and this is what I'm talking about, that when your only focus is dark damage, then at some point you might be steamrolling around and say, hey, this combination is very powerful, till you meet an enemy that's resistant in dark and you can't do anything about it. And that's because of this bad planning we had, the focus in one only direction. So we won't make this mistake, we'll need to find a way to make our character a bit more versatile before we reach the higher stages and meet an enemy we can't beat. That was 20 damage. And let's use her power here. Because he's quite strong here. He is leaving, we are not. Now we can only, if we don't want to die from the counter attack, we need to use ranged cards on him, because if we don't, he will counterattack. But our allies are safe to attack, and our staff basically throws dark bolts, so we can use that too. Our allies can safely attack, unless they have a morale ability that it's not ranged. In this case, their morale ability, it will hit and trigger the counter attack if it's not ranged. Let's use it. So he died from our spirits, which targeted him, and we triggered the counter attack, but thankfully we had enough of resistance to not be a problem. Okay, now it's as good time as any to get leadership. We also have added summoner, Shepherd of the Damned. Each time you would craft a reanimate craft, you craft one more. Your synergy power increased by +4. Very nice. He'll spawn. But I think leadership will be quite useful, as now we can have 5 allies, and we can also get our villain tendency, because we are villainous. And we can save the rest of our perk points. Let's move starting the level to 16. Okay, I will be recording this run to the end, but I will stop this video now and start uploading, and I will be seeing you soon in the next video. I hope you are enjoying the run so far, and I'll be seeing you soon.